So Nintendo just announced a price increase for Nintendo Switch consoles, games, accessories, and Switch Online, and I find this very interesting because the Switch 2 just came out and Nintendo is now raising Switch prices. But let's get straight to the details. So Nintendo posted an article on their Canadian website titled Nintendo Switch Pricing Update. And there's a short bit of text that I'll read because it's pretty important to the situation. It says, quote, "Pricing for the original Nintendo Switch family of systems and products in Canada will change based on market conditions. These include Nintendo Switch OLED model, Nintendo Switch Lite, physical and digital Nintendo Switch games, and Nintendo Switch accessories. Other Nintendo products, including Amiibo and Nintendo Switch Online memberships, will also experience price changes. Please note this pricing change does not apply to the Nintendo Switch 2 system, accessories, or software. Now, please don't click off this video just because these price updates are only for Canada, because these are pretty important to all Nintendo fans even if they do only affect Canadians directly. Because once you dive into the details, you notice that there are a few things that are a bit suspicious about this. Nintendo used the term market conditions as their excuse to change the prices, and while it doesn't directly say that the prices are going up, we can only assume that that's the case because if there was a price decrease, Nintendo would definitely be announcing it, but they're not specifying, so we can almost assume that the prices in Canada will be going up for Nintendo Switch software, hardware, and accessories. Now, in my mind, market conditions would definitely cover hardware, accessories, physical games. That makes sense because those items can get tariffed, they are technically imported to Canada, so it would make sense if the prices were going up for some reason, even if the Switch is years old and probably a lot cheaper to make. You know, I guess that excuse flies, but when you cross the line into digital software, and that includes digital games and Switch Online, that really makes me curious if market conditions are really the reason that we're raising the prices here. Because digital software does not cost any more to ship out once the game is made. It's made. And once the servers are running, they're running in basically the same regions. Like, they're not getting more expensive just because of a straightforward market condition. This is where I speculate about greed, and I feel like Nintendo is kind of thinking, well, our Switch Online memberships, we've added a lot of value to them, and to their credit, they have. There's a lot of good stuff in there, but I think they might be using that as an excuse to raise their Switch Online memberships. And if they're starting this in Canada, are they going to bring this to the US and Europe and all other regions? Is this just going to be Canada? Canada might even be their testing market. I'm not Canadian, so I'm not into Canadian politics, but I do know they have a new prime minister. So I wonder if that has anything to do with Nintendo raising these prices. There are a lot of speculations we could be making just about this little bit of information, but it really confuses me that Nintendo is raising the prices of Nintendo Switch games, accessories, but mostly the digital software because that's not really costing Nintendo any more to ship out just because of some political drama that's going on in Canada. That seems like an excuse for greed in my opinion. But we really haven't seen the full story. Pricing has not even come out yet, it just says that it will be on the Nintendo Store in Canada on August 1st. So we'll know by then what's going on, how much the prices are going up. Are they even going up? Because Nintendo did not technically confirm a price increase, they just said a price change, so I don't know, maybe they could be going down, but I really think Nintendo would have shared that right then and there and said, hey, we're having a price drop. But anyway guys, that's all I have for today's video. I would really appreciate if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out. And comment down below what you think is going on with this whole pricing situation. Do you think Nintendo's being greedy like the straightforward answer is? Or do you think that there might even be a price drop? Or do you have your own wild or crazy theory? Let me know. But anyway guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.